everybody. I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
And today we have our top 10 games that we learned in July.
In July 2022.
Yeah.
And here it is, the 17th of August. Where have we been? Well, our internet
Gen
connection.
Con and an internet problem.
We had internet problems before Gen Con. And we had Gen Con.
Yeah.
Then we came back to find out our internet problems were still here.
Yeah.
And then we had them come out and they verified what we tried to tell them 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then they said, hey, you know what? It's going to take another week to fix. So we tried to stream our top 10 past 3 times.
Yep.
Last time, we were hoping that the internet would be fixed. It was not fixed. But now, knock on wood,
hopefully we make
the stream looks good. So we're going to see. Long ago, you collected all of the pictures for these games. So hopefully you've got everything good and ready. And it's been a minute. You got it. For anyone who knows me, knows that
he forgets.
Rules come in my head and then right out of my head. So I'm going to try to remember what my top 10 games are. Why I like them. All right. So.
Well, I wanted to do a shout out for a few expansions first.
That sounds great.
Because we don't usually cover expansions.
I didn't cover my expansions.
Well, we usually don't. So,
but we should. We probably should say something.
We don't always learn like top 5 expansions. So I'm just going to talk about the ones that I really enjoyed. For
me, it would be Seven Wonders Armada. But you.
That's great. That's amazing.
So that was mine from July. You had already played it.
Oh yeah, I've played that a lot. So I do love that.
So my main complaint about Seven Wonders is that if you're playing with more than 3 people, you have very little effect on the people across the board from you. Now with Armada, it fixes it a little bit, enough to make it much better, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I would like it because of that.
For sure.
And there's tracks that you can work on. So you're like figuring out, well, I can take this card as you normally would in Seven Wonders, but you're like, or I could take this blue card and move up that track. So there's like that extra added little strategy, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
So I really love Armada. That's a 10 out of 10 for me. I love it.
So, since mine wasn't prepared, that's probably all I got.
Well, so mine were, you're going to like these as well.
Probably.
Sagrada Glory.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming out.
I don't get games. My off-printed, at least when I'm sitting like this, it looks like it's in the middle, but
yeah.
Anyway.
It's fine.
Ben, is it supposed to be like this? If you're in the chat, let me know.
Oh, my goodness. But yeah, so Sagrada Glory, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
If you love Sagrada, it's just added an added die.
Striped dice. They're great.
Yeah, and so you'll have different objectives with those, and there's hidden goals now, and you'll lose points if you keep them. So there's a lot of it's not much. So if you know Sagrada, you can just easily probably add this in. So we'll be showing that on stream at some point in the near future. And the other one was Red Cathedral Contractors.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Really cool.
It is so good.
We already showed that one on stream, so go back and find that video. And
so with Red Cathedral, you've got the 4 different guilds around the outside. Well, you're going to replace the guild that gives you just victory points with one of 10 other guilds.
Each with 3 different cards. And you're still using only 1 card. So
now each of those 4 guilds had 3 cards. This is 10 more guilds with 3 cards each.
Exactly.
And I don't know why you couldn't just go with random guilds all the way around. Though I think you probably need the resource changing guilds.
All that.
But hey, there's nothing to stop you from throwing in whatever guilds you want. Anyway, I love Red Cathedral. It will always be a keeper.
Oh, yeah.
I don't foresee ever getting rid of it. And Contractors just makes it that much better.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of added stuff that makes the game really interesting. It was already interesting before, but it just gives it that little bit extra. So
I agree.
It's really cool.
Hi, Dr. Stein.
Hi, Dr. Stein. All right, so those are the expansions I definitely wanted to talk about. I'm glad
I probably had other ones I just did not. I wouldn't prepare for it.
I know.
I had 17 days to prepare, and I didn't do it.
It's easier once it's happened, right now.
Hello, Chad. The internet is working. Yes. Hello, Time Roller.
All right, so jumping into our top 10 of July. Because we're that far behind.
We're that far behind.
Don't worry about it.
My number 10.
You're number 10.
So a lot of these on our July top 10. So further compounding the 17 days is that a lot of these in the top 10 were learned at Dice Tower East,
which was at the
beginning of July. So a month and a half removed from a lot of these games. It's Marvel Dice Throne.
Yes.
Where you get to play with
Throne.
Yeah, it's Dice Throne, but with all of your favorite Marvel characters. I had Thor, and I was throwing my hammer out and bringing it back, and every time I throw that hammer out, it does a little bit more damage. So we played with 4 players, and I didn't read the rules, so I don't know for sure if we were playing the team rules correctly. It was sort of like what was explained to me was so Steph and I were on a team. They had to damage me first, and then they had to damage Steph, and then they had to damage me, and then they had to damage Steph. Even if it wasn't the player that you really would have wanted to damage, it did not seem right to me.
No, I think what was happening, you didn't really explain it the way we played it, is if neither of us had been attacked,
right,
we choose which one is attacked. And so if we picked you, then they have to attack me
the next time. Yeah. But that's the thing. It takes away some player agency. I'm hoping that's not the 4-player rules. We have not ever played Dice Throne 4 players.
Yeah.
That said, I just rated it as if it were normal 2 players.
Sure.
It's just more good Dice Throne.
Yeah.
With thematic
thematic characters.
For sure.
I definitely like that.
So definitely, I don't rate it as an expansion. I do rate it as its own standalone game, but it basically is another expansion. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it's a standalone.
They are all standalone.
Right. You can just all mix and match it all. I feel like that's easily doable.
Yeah. So, my number 10, Marvel Dice Throne.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out that Time Roller mentioned that Steph is really good at Paint the Roses. I joined his stream yesterday and we played a game of Paint the Roses, and I was just like, I think it's gonna be this, and it was like double diamond with no information on the board, but like there was so much negative information. Like,
well, see, that's
a decent guess.
So Paint the Roses is a game where you have to be really clever with negative information, and if you don't understand the negative information, you can accidentally put something somewhere that's substandard.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it can't be Heart Diamond, because if it were Heart Diamond, she would have gone over here, and I'm going.
Yeah. So
no.
I was trying to teach Time Roller about those little things. Like,
you have to do that.
Miss it on the first play, like, you placed it over here instead. But you have to kind of go with and show why it's better to do one way or the other.
I agree.
Anyway, I love Paint the Roses, so a lot of people have been enjoying that for the first time in the recent months, so I'm very excited for that. But anyway, my number 10 is Smash Up Disney. So I'm not the biggest Smash Up fan, but if I'm going to play Smash Up, it's going to be Smash Up Disney, because I really enjoy all the themes that are in the box, all the movies, and I can see them expanding this with tons more. So it has all my favorite, like Aladdin and
Lion King
and Beauty and the Beast. So that's like totally my jam. Like, I love all those.
It's also got some of the newer ones like Wreck-It Ralph,
Frozen,
and Princess and the Frog. I'm pretty sure it has that one. It has Frozen. It has
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. That's older.
I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember what else. Anyway, there's a lot of really cool Disney.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And it's got quite a bit of Take That, but it doesn't bother you that much because it's really a lot of Take That.
It is a lot to Take That. It just depends.
You have to be ready for it.
It depends on the decks that you have, and it might just be more of optimizing your cards to get the combos you want. But yeah, I do think it is a 2-player game. It's not a game I'd want to play with like 3 or 4, just because I think that would be
too chaotic.
I think that would be too chaotic, like you said.
Well, Scott says no one plays Disney games like Steph plays Disney games. Or like Gaston plays.
Whatever.
Oh, the Gaston comments will never die. I love it. I love it. internet lore at that point. I mean,
Beast. I do love Aladdin. I do love it all.
all right. So moving on to my number 9.
Yes.
Is something that you had already played before.
Yes.
And so we broke this out right on our game days before Dice Tower is Gizmos.
Oh yeah.
There it is. So yeah.
You're gonna like this one.
Yeah.
And so we had like a day free because Evan was off doing other things, and so we were just in Evan's house playing his games.
So it's like, hey, what's Evan have? Oh, he has Gizmos. We wanted to play this.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that was fun. I knew you would like it.
Yeah, with Gizmos, you're trying to build up. It's sort of a deck builder ish, and it's been a little while, but I do remember it having a lot of the things that.
It's not it's an engine builder.
Engine builder.
Yeah.
Yes. Where, if you've got this card, then it can help you with other things. So.
Well, you're taking an action, and then you're either like buying a card and adding it to your action display, so you get better rewards whenever you do that action.
Right.
So it's neat.
And it's got it's the one with where you pull the marbles out, right?
Yeah.
So it's got a really cool little tray where you're pulling out the marbles.
Well, yeah.
But you can also
there's like a line of rows.
Yes.
And so you could eat marbles. And so you could drop one of these marbles, but then there might be like an ability to pick.
So like
you might get a random one.
I remember it's like when I draft black, I get an additional draft, or I would get a free pool or whatever, and I would
so you can build up that engine.
So you're just trying to optimize your engine, and
Michael's a little behind on the time.
Yes. That was I think it was before 2018, but that said, I had never played it.
I also think it was before. I think it was 2017 because I played it at Evans for the first and only time before we played it.
So it's probably the same game, the same physical copy.
I'm sure it is, but what I'm saying is you weren't there, therefore it was before.
Right.
The before times.
The before times. It is Chad was right. It is 2018.
Okay, so it must have been that summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems good.
Yes, right. So, it was right after we got back from the cruise, Alaska cruise.
So if you enjoy engine builders, light on the lighter side, I would say, then you will probably enjoy Gizmos.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's probably if I found it at a good price, it'd probably be a buy for the collection.
I think it should be, yeah.
Okay, that was your number
9.
Now
you're number 9.
Now my number 9. Number 9 is The Reign of Dragoness. All right, I just like it because it has dragons.
That's the only thing.
I mean, there really aren't enough games just about dragons. There's like one. A Smurg. There's no other game that's like just about dragons. Like just dragons.
So that's all you got?
No, I actually like it because it's a climbing game. I enjoy climbing games.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many things going on in this game. It does feel a lot of luck of the draw at the beginning, and so I don't know like how much I'd want to play the game, but I thought it was fairly solid. Has amazing artwork, easy to play and teach. I do wish that some of the special cards were a little bit more clear on
some of the artwork here.
Yeah. It is really pretty.
A lot of different colors, a lot of bright colors.
Yeah, which is what I like. But some of the character abilities aren't exactly clear, like where they fall, like if they're winning the trick or not or whatever. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was,
because if I play a 4 and then someone else plays a 4 and someone else plays a wild card, is it on the bottom side or the top side? And they don't exactly list it. I too love a good ladder climbing game, like Teach-U. But
yeah.
So because big huge Teach-U fan, but this sort of fell short for me because of it did not do enough interesting things. It's like, yeah, let's play this over teach you. So, but
Yeah,
the artwork is fantastic.
There's been any game that I would play over Tishu in regards to card game.
Right.
Tishu, if I have 4 willing players, that is the card.
That is the climbing game.
But it's always nice to try new card games, and I did like this one, so it'd be one I would play again for sure. But yeah, again, you can't really compare it to Tishu because
I mean, we do have our at the conventions that we get to, we've got our Tichu people who we can always count on for Tichu. Usually it's Dan and Jeff. But
thanks for following Harpalu.
Yeah, thanks for following. A lot of times we will recruit Tom Lehman, or we will recruit Ryan Bruns whenever he is available.
Yeah. His groups of people that would want to play Tichu.
David, yeah.
If you're looking for a climbing game, it's hard not to say Tichu, but if you're looking for a lighter card game for like kids to get into, this would be a good one.
Isn't Blue Moon City about dragons?
I mean, there are dragons in it, but it's not like
all dragons all the time.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're like characters and stuff. I don't know. It's been a minute since I played that. All right, what is
my number 8?
Oh, I don't think I put it up yet.
Uh-oh. Well, you got to get it.
All right, you can start talking about it.
So, my number 8 is for those of you who know me, you probably know that I'm not a big fan of abstracts. And this is somewhat of an abstract game. It does have a little randomness with the dice, but my number 8 game was Marrakech, which has the cutest little fabric rugs. And they're not like tiles or anything. They're actual pieces of fabric, and you will place these pieces of fabric on the grid. And what you're trying to do is to make the merchant run over the top of your carpets when it is your opponent's turn. And so it works really well with 2 players. It probably works well with 3 or 4 players as well. So move the merchant, place a rug, and you can even place over the top of your opponent's rugs. And then your opponent will go turning one way or the other, rolling the dice, moving the merchant, hopefully landing on my rugs, and then placing her rug back and forth and back and forth.
It's been out a while.
It's been out probably quite a while.
But there's this new edition that's pictured here.
Oh.
And so there's a new edition, and it's on Board Game Arena, and I ended up teaching Colorfly and Defoob, and they loved it. So
of course. Again,
it is better in person because you get the little rugs, and they're just so cute.
Yeah. I mean, the actual tactile feel of those rugs is really cool. Yeah, that's from 2007. Chad is super, super happy to see the old games.
This is not the Feld.
This is title. Not the Feld Marrakech. This is Marrakech.
To point out that the Feld title is amazing. It's really good. But they are very different games.
So this is the Gizmos 2021 edition that just came out not too long ago. But I'd never played the old edition, so this was a brand new experience for me.
They are the same game, but yeah.
And an abstract game ends up on my list. And it takes quite a bit to put an abstract on my list.
It's a little bit of luck.
There is a little bit of luck.
And that changes it.
It does change it for me.
Yes.
It completely changes it. So.
Like you could go this way in hopes of rolling a 4 and not hitting anything in between, or you go this way in hopes of hitting a 2 or a 4. What do? Well, this way is worse because you have a big cluster over here, so I'm going to go this way and take my shot.
Oh, with 2 players,
you
get to have 2 different colors worth of rugs, but they score individually. So I might want to, so I had the blue and the yellow. I might want to take a bigger risk to move towards my blue carpets if I have a blue carpet on top. If I have a yellow carpet on top, maybe I go the other direction. And so, because I want to place yellows next to yellows and blues next to blues, because if she lands on my rugs, it's going to be 1 point for every one of those squares that are contiguous.
Yep.
So, yeah. Anyway, Marrakech number 8.
That's nice. I like that. My number 8 is my
Love me abstracts, but
Shelfie.
for Michael, so surprising for sure. Hello, DeFoob. Thank you for subscribing 16 months.
Thank you for that subscription to Food. Hopefully you're having a great day. Yay, fixed internet. No jingles. But
And on wood.
yeah, my number 8 is my
My
Shelfie.
Shelfie. My Shelfie.
I like that they made a game about a Shelfie. So we played a game recently called Shelfie Stacker, which was actually about all board games and building your Shelfie that way.
Mm-hmm.
This one has board games and trophies and plants and cats that you build your shelves with. You know, all those cats. And so you're drafting these tiles from a display, but you can only take tiles that are adjacent to another with two edges. So
Yeah.
you're limited on the tiles that you can take.
You're meaning from the main game board.
Yeah,
So there's a
game board you're
big,
drafting from.
yeah, just a big pile. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's not. It's on a grid and it's sort of circular in shape, but you have to be able to pull out the tiles that you are going to take. You have to be able to pull them out from two different sides. You can't just take them from wherever.
And so as people are opening up the board, more things will become available. But when you draft these tiles, you're then putting them into like your Connect Four style like grid. And
everybody has hidden goals.
You have hidden goals and you have your own thing. So Michael will have his board, I will have my standing board, and I'm trying to make these patterns with these tiles that I'm collecting and filling up your shelf. So it's on.
And there's also public goals. That's sort of a race to get things finished.
That's true, and I'm terrible at that.
Yeah, you did not do the public goals.
Public goals. Okay, just do the public goals. So that's on the to show off on stream soon shelf.
Yep. There's a lot on the couch ready to be shown.
So that one for sure will be showing off. I think it's super clever.
Walker Harding plus Cats James is in.
Absolutely. So I think a lot of people will be attracted to this game just for the look and the appeal of it. It's really easy to get into, which also helps. So I definitely think that people will enjoy this one.
Yeah, barely missed my list.
Yeah, they can't all make them. You played a lot that I had already played, so
exactly.
it would.
So there's going to be a lot of those that you have already played that is brand new for me.
I toads know.
So yeah. My number 7 is Riverboat.
Oh, it's so small.
It's so small. Whoa. That's magic. Yeah, Riverboat.
This one I think is almost a hidden gem. Like I don't think people really know about it. I mean, if you're deep into Euro games, then you probably have heard of it, but you might not have played it. But even still, I think it's like missed the radar in a way.
Right.
And I don't even know if you had heard about it before.
I had heard about it, but I mean, it's like, okay, it's a game about riverboats, which is a time period that I'm just sort of like, oh,
so for me, I don't even think about the theme. I'm like, I didn't even know like Riverboat was a theme for it, but sure.
And it's not very old, 2017, so it's not super old, but I mean it's been around for 5 years now, so I guess that makes it ancient.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So there's quite a bit of worker placement and tile placement as you're trying to put these crops in your grid. As we're flipping over tiles, we're going to be anticipating where the crops are going to pop up. And I can't remember, there's like only so many that we can place. And
James is like, I recently got this. It's so good.
Yeah, so good.
It really interesting. And that's what I like about it. You're doing a Puerto Rico style drafting with the tiles like to start, because if you grab a tile, you'll get a slight bonus. So yeah, you're like, which one do I want the bonus for? They're all so good. I need everything. I need this extra $1. I need this extra worker, or whatever it is. It's like, but
you also want to group these things contiguously. Exactly. Because you're, if I'm not mistaken, you're only going to score for your biggest of each set, I think. Yeah. So, but yeah, and you're also when you're taking the riverboat tiles, you're putting them up on the top, and then you can only advance your guy as far as your riverboat is, and only score that many times. It's got a lot of really cool Euro features that I really love. So
Yeah.
if you like worker placement and drafting and tile placement and Euros, Riverboat is for you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's another one we played at Evans.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, a lot of them.
We played a lot. I'm gonna have one.
That's the fourth one. The third out of 3 out of 4 that we played at Evans. So.
But I wanted to do a little shout out to Phantom Meeple.
Hello, Phantom Meeple.
Yeah, good to have you here. Good to see you at Gen Con. Hopefully you had a great Gen Con. And I wanted to mention Citrus was mentioned. I don't know if you played Citrus, but that actually is
I don't think I have.
up on Yukata, and that is an interesting game. I only ever got to play it once, but I should definitely try it again. I think there's a reprint coming, or a reprint that just happened recently, so it's possible that we will be seeing that again, showing up more.
Yeah, the Kiesling and Kramer games, they're always so good. So
I like their games.
Yeah,
I always love at least trying them. So for me, that's like really good. I'm going
to your number 7.
My number 7. In the palm of your hand. We actually played this with the Foom and Colorfly.
That's right.
At Dice Tower.
That's right.
Rainer and
Foom on the channel. Yeah, he is here, so maybe he can also tell his thoughts about it.
Pretty sure that I was the one person who really enjoyed this game, and that nobody else had a great time.
It did not make my list.
I just think it's geared towards a specific type of gamer. And like it's a party game, but there's it has like almost like a Dixit element to it, but it's a tactile thing where you have these objects, and you have like string and Velcro, and like one person has their
maple guys and a circle, and
your partner is like putting things in your hand to give a sort of feeling, emotion towards what's happening on the card. Yeah.
Something like that.
And I'm closing my eyes and I'm like, what was that? Like a snake?
And I can't touch her hand. I can only touch her hand with the objects. So
that's an experience. So, okay. So like something is walking, or I don't know.
When you're trying to pick the Dixit style pictures.
And so Michael will put in his picture. Everybody else will throw in a picture.
And a
random one. And not only that, but then you do a second round. You do 2 things.
You have to remember
to pick the right cards. I have to pick the right cards in the right order for 2 separate things. And I'm like, what did I remember from the first time he used things on my hand? I'm like, okay, so all right, it's definitely it feels different than any other party game I've played before, and that's why I liked it.
I don't think it fires any other games, but I think it does deserve a consideration from people who like the Dixit style game.
Oh yeah, for sure. So for me, I quite enjoyed this, but it will take the right group to have a good experience with it. Now, I don't think we had a bad experience with it. I just think people were like, oh my God.
I enjoyed it more than Dixit. It's weird that we say Dixit style games, because Dixit, I am not, I've played it before, just not a fan.
But Dixit style games, I mean, they use
cards with the pictures.
A bunch of different artwork and pictures and ideas.
And that and Mysterium were 2 of the first to really do that. Sure. Yeah. So we usually end up comparing them to Dixit and Mysterium.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of games, especially recently, that do those mechanisms even better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree.
Hello, Colorfly.
And bye.
And bye. Again, making dinner. So
yes, your number 6.
My number 6 was I always love hidden trader games, as most of you know. And so I had high hopes for this, but was cautiously optimistic because it has not been on. I haven't heard a lot from anyone about this.
Anywhere, nothing.
And so we have The Shining. where you are in the hotel where the shining happens, and you are moving around and picking up tokens, and you are fighting against the house for some of it. But there is somebody who is potentially trying to get people killed and trying to do the bad thing. Who was our traitor?
Susan.
It was Susan. It was the traitor. Oh yeah, we found her.
You made
And
me do it, but like, that Susan is the one who is trying to betray us.
Well, because James and I were convinced that each other were not traitors, and so if you were to try to call her out, then it would be, if you were a traitor, you wouldn't do it, and if you were a traitor, if you were a traitor, you wouldn't call her out. If you were a traitor, if you were not a traitor, you would have accused her, and then we would have been safe. All of us would have been safe. So that's why we had to get you to do it. If you were on our team, you would do it, and you did. You don't lie. But so anyway, so you've got events every turn. You're going around picking up tokens, and you have to get enough tokens to be able to get enough willpower to fight off the house. There is a cornfield that you make people go out to if they know that they're not going to be able to handle the effects, because people out in the field can't go to the house. People in the house can't go out to the field. But if you get overwhelmed, then you are going to take whatever weapon that you manage to get, which you're going to have to get weapons if you want good willpower, and you go around and attack the nearest person. Rolling the dice, try to do some damage. If somebody takes 2 damage, then they die, and the good guys lose. The bad guys win. Anyway.
To be fair, it wasn't, it's not really my type of game, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
So it was easy to get into, which was good. So for me, Betrayal is like really hard to get into. Like,
I love Betrayal.
No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of having some person run out of the room to read whatever's happening next or whatever that was all about. But
yes,
I don't like that. I think it's just too much. As far as simple, quick trader games, this would probably be the one I would play.
Yeah. So I mean, there are trader games.
I'm not a big fan of the mechanics.
So there are light trader games like the Resistance, and they just don't work for me. This is about as light of a trader game as you can get, and it still work for me.
Yeah.
So that's
probably my level.
This is.
I mean, there's always like the Resistance and stuff, which is also very.
Well, you liked Warehouse 13.
Well, yeah, I do. But that's more about the mechanics and less about the traders.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, hopefully you like Battlestar enough. You're skeptical. Anyway, if you like hidden trader games, certainly worth taking a look at The Shining. Now, be advised that this is not the white box Shining game, which is an escape room type game. Get the one in the red box like this, and that is the Hidden Trader board game. So, yeah,
for sure. Okay.
Your number 6.
Right. This.
It's
very suspect.
Totally sus.
We actually played the first scenario on the stream, so if you're curious about it, we do a spoiler tag, but we talk about what we're doing before we start and how it works. But it actually feels a lot like Crime Zoom. I don't know if we played as a Crime Zoom on the stream before or not.
I think we have.
But it feels a lot like that, where you have like a deck of cards that you're kind of going through and trying to figure out the story as you unfold cards. You don't have to look at everything, but the fewer cards you use, the better the points you'll get ultimately while you're solving the case. But what I did like about Suspects is that you can change your answer later on as you learn more, and then you'll just score a little bit less. So I think
you lock in your answers early.
Yeah, you lock in your answers early, and then if you change your mind, you can unlock your answer and put in a new one, but you're at a new point
at one point fewer than you would have had. Now, you only want to do that obviously if you think you're wrong.
If you think you're wrong, right? Or if you change your mind and you're kind of I don't know now. And so I like what it's doing. I think
We
that
did figure it out.
we did. And I do think it still needs to be cleaned up a little bit with definite answers, because we had like a few that were like, well, we got partial.
We got most of
We
it.
got
Is that
most of
worth
it.
3 points or is that not worth 3 points?
Yeah.
We don't know.
And so a lot of it was kind of on the edge or unanswered. So I do think it needs a little bit of polishing up for partial credit if you got that right or not. And so,
Yeah, the crime scene has the A, B, C, D. And so if you did a C, you knew if you had it right. This, you have to sort of kind of describe, what was the motive? And if we say money and the answer says insurance money, did you get it? Did you not? Was it complete enough? And those are the things that are sort of fuzzy that.
Or like multi-part answer, like what was the reason, blah, and then their answer was two different things.
Two things.
This. Well, what if we got this but not this? Like,
right.
I feel like we definitely had the story. So I do feel like we did deserve the win for that. But
right.
So it's one of those. That's the only really concern I have. Otherwise, if you like crime games, this is just like a pretty cool game.
Yeah.
So I can see why they're going to do more in the series. I think they do it well, and yeah, I think it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoy the story part. Not as much of the scoring, though. I have seen a lot of these type games do have worse scoring mechanisms than this. So I would recommend it just on the story alone. So for sure. Hello, Lost Torpedoes. Is that the one with the gloves and the piano string and the sleeping pills?
Something like that.
It had so
yeah.
Yeah. So definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Prospects. It did not make my list. But I did enjoy it.
Deadpan.
Hello, Deadpan. My number 5? Yes, my number 5.
Yes, your number 5.
Give you a second to get that.
Yep.
Now, I would recommend playing this with the expansion because we played it with the expansion, and I have not played it without the expansion. It's Railroad Revolution.
Yeah, but
here's the problem.
It's impossible to get the expansion.
It's impossible to get the expansion.
Technically, that was a new to me expansion.
Yes, it was. You have played Railroad Revolution, which is why it won't show up on your list. Yet another one from Evan's Game Days.
Yes.
I mean, it was
pretty.
It was a ton. We had a ton of them there. So in Railroad Revolution, you're not ever really shut out of a spot. You start off on the East Coast basically, and you're trying to make these connections. From city to city, and you'll have certain goals like you want to have, so many of size 2 stations or size 3 stations, size 4 stations, or you want to build through 3 different mountains or 3 different plains or whatever. And
yeah,
it's got a lot of, as the theme is, worker placement, action selection type of things. So if you like Euros like that, yet another game that you are probably going to enjoy.
So for me, I liked the expansion, and I would try and seek it out. I know it's probably really hard to get, but I liked what it did add, though there were some additions that I didn't like as much. But I did like controlling your own scoring for the different things.
Yeah, I like going up the tracks. I like placing people at the depots.
Was the added cart things that you're flipping over back and forth. It just seemed really fiddly and added a whole bunch of extra time where I'm like, I don't really know if I need that mechanic. But
gotcha. Yeah, because when you flip it over, you get the bonus. When you flip it back, you don't get the bonus, but you're getting it ready to flip over again.
Right. Things so you're getting all these little extra tiles that you're now managing and basically creating combos for yourself. So you can definitely overthink it and just like.
Do not play with someone who is super AP. I would totally recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you can get new goals that you're working on to gain additional points for the different things you're doing, like going over mountains 3 times or whatever. Like,
now I know in a lot of games like this that, like in Ticket to Ride, you can shut someone out of a city, or even in crayon rail games like Empire Builder,
yeah,
you can close, be the second or third person into a city,
yeah,
shutting out somebody from a city. In this, there is no shutting out of cities.
and I like that.
I do like that.
So
now you can grab a tile before somebody else or grab a bonus before somebody else, but you cannot shut somebody out of a city. And I really appreciate that. You can get to a city first, which will give you the first the first person in, which will give you a bonus.
Yep.
But everyone can put a station in those cities. They just won't get the advantage of being the first station in the city. Anyway, a lot here to like, for sure, and that's why it makes my number 5.
It's cool. It's cool.
It's cool.
My number 5 is
super fun.
Pandemic: Fall of Rome.
This is one that is like, we want to play all the pandemics.
Yeah.
We haven't played Fall of Rome.
Correct.
Boom, there it is.
Boom, there it is. And I liked it. I liked it okay. I think you might have liked it more than me. For me, I would prefer to play the other pandemics I've played. You haven't even played Rising Tide yet, but I prefer Rising Tide. I prefer Cthulhu. I prefer Iberia.
Iberia is so good.
The Legacies, like I prefer almost all of them except for like the base game.
Though we do have Fall of Rome on the couch of potential streaming targets.
Yeah, like
right there.
I think it's worth playing.
Certainly worth playing.
100%. Whether or not it would be a keeper for me, probably not, just because there are so many. But
totally a keeper for me.
Yeah, I get that. I get it. You like it.
I do like it.
So I like what it's doing. I like that the cubes are like coming down, like from a.
They're attacking.
Yeah, there are target points that they're moving in, their troops and stuff. So it does feel a little bit different in that regard. So that's kind of cool.
So they're trying to, all the different troops are trying to advance on Rome, and as they come in, if something comes in, it's supposed to go to this city. If they've already gotten to that city, they go in that city. If they haven't, they are going to try to march in a line in a predetermined path towards a city, and they will march all the way there if they can. And there's a little checklist, though. I think you had trouble getting the feel of where is it going to go, when it really takes some getting used to say, oh, here's the farthest out spot, and it just goes here. And so you sort of weren't sure where to place everything. It didn't immediately crystallize for you. And I think that might be why it ranks lower for you than some of the other pandemics, is that
it's not as clear.
It's not as clear where they go until you get used to it.
Sure.
For sure. Yeah. Why has no one done pandemic Egyptian plagues? That is a good question. I think you're onto something here.
I would love an Egyptian one. That'd be great.
Oh, for sure. That's your jam.
I really do like the theme, so that would be fun.
So you've got to be in a place where you can, where if you can put a barracks, then you can raise troops, and if you raise troops in certain areas, then you can take them with you and then go attack the enemy troops, which is basically like the plagues in Pandemic. So if you can, and eventually you try to get them on your side, and then they're not a bad group anymore. You can actually start recruiting the barbarians for your own use and then going out and attacking the other barbarians. It does things differently than a lot of the other pandemics. And for that reason, I think it is worth checking out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So
it was good.
And that's your number 5.
Aldi said that was his favorite pandemic.
There you go.
How about that?
How about that? You'll be playing against Moses with the Egyptian plague. So good.
Yes.
We are on my
4.
Number 4 is Viticulture World, which is the cooperative version of Viticulture by Mihir Shah.
Yep.
And after playing it the first time, I really had my doubts because I don't think the first scenario is the best. As I've already said before, about the intro game.
Yeah.
No. Because it it can be gamed where you don't even need to make wine and you can sort of just force those scenario goals out without doing the wine. And in my opinion, if a game is viticulture, it's a game about
Make it
making your fields and harvesting the grapes and stomping the grapes into wine and then selling the wine. This had the intro game had none of that. So as I said in the video, that I would highly recommend y'all checking out if you like viticulture and you're interested in it. Check out our video where I said don't if you have a bad experience with the intro scenario, do not give up. Play one of the other scenarios. It was recommended to us to play the Europe scenario, I think it was.
Yeah, I believe that was.
And I had a much better experience with it, enough to make it my number 4 game.
Yep.
So
And I have now played that one and America's, and the America one is like become famous.
oh really?
So it's like all about media and how you could like.
Oh, you're
Crazy.
trying to be famous in the America one? Oh my goodness.
And so there's like a fame track and everything, so it's all this goodness. So I like the different themes and the different scenarios because it really feels different because you're doing, it's still viticulture and that you're doing the same thing, but you'll have different objectives almost. Nice. So it's cool. I really, really like that one.
James says people said the same thing about Robinson Crusoe. The first challenge is not the best. I have beaten the first scenario in Robinson Crusoe.
I don't think I've ever won Robinson Crusoe.
I know a lot of people did not like the rule book. I didn't have a problem with the rule book, but I'm probably one of the few because a lot of people complain about it. It's very thick and very dense of a rule book. So, but I recommend Robinson Crusoe. I have the old version, I have the new version. And I'm not sure if
we have the adventure one.
Adventure Tales, I think it's what it's
called. Something like that.
So we have a lot of Robinson Crusoe to play.
That's a cool game. We haven't done that on stream. Maybe we should.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that okay, so I've got The Voyage of the Beagle. And that was with the original base game. Right. I don't know if it is compatible with the new version, so I have not yet sold either set until I know which ones go with which and which of the promos go with which and which promos are included in the new one already and not the old one.
I have the promo box too, so I've
and now we have the promo box. So
duplicates of everything.
So we got to wade through some of this stuff, and this is what happens when there's new editions that come out.
Yes.
Anyway, definitely worth checking out. Viticulture World by Mahir Shah.
What is your okay? Yeah. My number.
Who also makes the cool T-shirts that you sometimes see me wearing the Super Meeple shirt and you wearing the 5 Victory Point shirt. Oh, yeah. Let's see if I've got that link. I think it is Mahir.
Yeah, you should.
Mahir. This is his Etsy site, which is where you can get those T-shirts.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of different designs. So yeah. Certainly worth checking.
He's a cool man.
He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude.
Found Steph blind it was nighttime at Universal Studios. Ran into Steph and says, "I know you," and you're like, "What?"
What?
And
so that was fun.
And you see the pocket with a little yellow meeple sticking out of a pretend drawn pocket.
Yeah.
On T-shirt. And you're like, "You're a gamer. That's where you know me from." And so, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so then he's like, "Yeah, I designed this viticulture." I'm like, "What? That's awesome!" So.
And I was sitting there going to all the haunted houses. So.
Yeah.
Because that's what I like to do at Universal.
My number 4.
Lacerda game.
I know is on Mars.
On Mars.
I really put off playing this one, but I knew I wanted to play it. So it's one of those like, we were at Evans and
another Evan game,
and it was with a group of people who really, really love the game. I'm like, "How well can you teach this game?" He's like back of my hand, like I know it. I'm like, that's exactly what I want. It's the experience that I want. Maybe not the experience you want. I know he likes to read the rules and go through it, but I find it's a lot harder for me to hear rules like this dense from the rule book. For him to teach it, I grasp it right away. I know it's not You didn't grasp it right away because you're missing the connection.
Oh, I grasped it.
You're missing the connection between why am I doing this versus this or whatever. The theme.
I grasped it, but it was
for me.
It was a myth.
Click. Totally got it.
I got it.
I enjoyed it quite a bit as far as Lacerda games go. I'm not usually a big Lacerda fan, but I do think this was more my style Lacerda because it felt more. I don't want to say more Yuri. All of his games are pretty Yuri, but there's no like mechanic where I'm relying on other people, or at least not to some big extent. And I am like, you're playing towards a middle center board, so you're like, okay, how can I benefit from what other people are doing, but not necessarily determining your game plan based on what people are doing. So there's like a slight distinction for me regarding that. Because there's so many like Lacerda games where like you're relying on people to actually do something that you need to get done.
Well, I think in this you are still relying on people, because if somebody takes off with the ship and leaves you on the wrong side, so on Mars, you got your worker that is either going to be on Mars or not on Mars, up on the station.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are one place or the other and you can't do what you want to do,
mm-hmm.
then you're sort of just stuck there, and it's like.
Right. That's where you have to plan for that. I mean,
except someone can screw you over with.
No.
Yes.
You can always go on the ship.
You can go on the ship if it's on your side.
Right.
Yeah.
So nobody is like moving the ship to the other side.
No, but they can end up taking the thing that you needed. Because if you are the one that goes on the ship first, you'll get the different bonuses first, and if things are gone by the time you get there, well, then I just made this trip for nothing. I don't like games without a lot of player agency, and this pretty much feels like you got your hands tied for the entire game. It was a complete miss for me.
Okay, so. That's fair. And I get that way with a lot of Lacerda games, so I understand it completely. For me, I didn't have the same problem you had, and I enjoyed the tight, like, why would I choose to go here to get the better bonus, or I could go first and get exactly what I need. But if you are going last, you kind of always have last pick unless you get last pick of going first, and then you'll kind of start to see the change in how you can pick to go first on the other side, sort of thing. So turn order definitely matters.
So yeah, I was stuck on the first round going last.
Right.
And I'm like, I could start up here on the station where everybody else is starting, or I can start down on the planet. And I think that was the start of the end for me. My very first placement. Because there's really not a lot I could do down there.
It's a long game, so
yeah.
If you're not really sure on what to do, yeah, it can be kind of
I could have given up after the first hour.
Yeah, and I know that. And it won't be for everybody, and that's fine. If I get the chance to play it again, I probably would take it, but I'm not like seeking it out, so to speak. So
I wanted so much to like it.
Yeah, I always feel that way about Lacerda games, but that's also why I put them off, because I always feel like it's not exactly what I want. And I like heavy games in general.
Same.
I feel as if sometimes Lacerda just does heavy just to do heavy, like just add more mechanics. So, for example, Lisboa, I feel like could get rid of like half the mechanics in that game. It'd be a better game, but it's like, I don't know. It's just not for me generally. And versus like Gaia Project, where I'm like, oh, this is such a great game, and there's a lot going on. Eclipse, so much going on, but it's like so many great things happening at once. So I consider those pretty heavy, and I prefer those to most Lacerda games.
Right.
So, or all Lacerda games.
James says, just because it's procedural doesn't mean it's on rails. If it's on rails, I'm out as I lose agency in my decision space. Exactly. So James understands.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sure. I get it. Yeah. I just didn't have that problem. I think if I were to play it next time and I did have that problem, I would like it less. So it's one of those, the more you play it, the more you could see interactions and what other things are possible. But
I'm right on the line of whether I would give it another shot or not give it another shot. I'm hoping that it's just because of it's my first time playing.
We were playing against two people who play it like
Who
every
played it
weekend.
a lot.
Like, so they were playing it all the time. Obviously, they're
Right.
gonna destroy us. Like, I was totally anticipating that. Like, I don't
That doesn't bother me.
about losing. We just want to make sure like we're playing to the best of our abilities.
Right.
You know, to make sure we're understanding what's going on.
I often have to fall back to Dan's theory of how many times do you have to play a game before it becomes an enjoyable game for me.
Well, yeah.
And that's where I'm on that line between, I see that it's got some promise enough to where, do I play it again? Do I not give it another shot? Because I got a ton of other games that we can play.
Well, that's just it. Like with Rob, my first experience was so bad, and that was 10 years ago. I wasn't planning on playing it again. But then there's a reprint. All right, let's give it a go.
Now,
of course, I liked it a lot more with two players, and I had a much better time.
With Rob, you're talking about a 30, 40-minute investment. With on Mars, you're
talking about a 4-hour investment.
Do I actually give this another chance?
And On Mars is likely better with more people because there is that bit of.
I don't know. I think I might like it better with fewer. So we'll see. We'll see.
True. I don't know.
We don't have it.
Oh, we do have it, but
we did.
It's on the sale shelf because you didn't like it.
Because
I'm gonna play it. If you're not gonna play with me,
I don't know. I'm on the fence about it.
I ended up buying it because I wanted to play it.
Well, that's right. You got the use copy.
So when I got the chance to learn it from somebody, I took it.
Right.
And so then that was the easy way of figuring out if I should keep it or not. But if one of us doesn't like it, there's like really no point.
It's hard to hold on to it when one of us doesn't.
I have so
like playing.
Like if I'm going to play it, it'll be with somebody else who wants to play it. Therefore, they have their copy. You know, it's like
right.
I don't necessarily need a copy unless I wanted to go invest time in learning how to play a solo mode, which I don't think I do.
Because you got so many games, and I'm sort of a willing captive here. So
next.
Got me. All right, my number 3 we've already talked about, so it's easy to talk about. Pandemic Fall of Rome. I like the soldiers advancing on Rome.
Yeah.
Of course, that would be the end. It does have you still have your outbreaks and stuff as you normally would.
Yep.
And trying to go out and squash all the enemy soldiers as they're coming out. And it's still pandemic, still cooperative. We've only played it once, so we've only tried 2 of the roles. I'm interested in playing the other roles. So yeah, certainly worth checking out.
Yeah. It's
Big Data says I always beat my brother at my own variance of risk. He eventually quit playing. Yeah, that's what happens. So that's my number 3, Pandemic Fall of Rome.
That was easy.
Yeah, it was easy.
Mine is also easy because we talked about it, called Marvel Dice Throw.
Marvel Dice Throw, that ranked way higher for you.
I got to be Doctor Strange.
They could do that.
That's all it takes. No, I enjoy Dice Thrown. I think I want to enjoy it more. It's one of those, like, I don't know. I didn't love our experience playing it.
I didn't love that experience at all, but I know that it's not that way with 2 players.
I feel like, okay, with 2 players, this Loki versus Thor duel will be pretty cool. So I think it's pretty cool. And
well, I worried that we would not have enough good games this month. And yet, if my number 10 game was Marvel Dice Throne, number 9 Gizmos, I mean, those are 2 really solid games.
Yeah, for sure.
Hello, A&M Game School.
Immediately summoned Azul.
The Schmiggles already summoning the great and powerful Azul.
Welcome in, Raiders.
Who summoned the great and powerful Azul?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, what's up, people? Oh, I got a sheep butt on my face.
You love Gizmos stream. That's nice. Hopefully your stream went well. What were you playing? What were you doing? We are now in the middle of our top 10 games that we learned.
Hey, let's give them a rundown real quick.
All right, rundown real quick.
My number 10, Marvel Dice Throne. Number 9, Gizmos. Number 8, Marrakech. The one with the little fabric rugs. Number 7, Riverboat. Number 6, The Shining. Number 5, Railroad Revolution with the expansion. Number 4, Viticulture World. And number 3, Pandemic Fall of Rome. Yep, checks out. All right.
My number 10, Smash Up Disney. 9, Reign of Dragoness. 8, My Shelfie. 7, In the Palm of Your Hands. 6, Suspects. 5, Pandemic Fall of Rome. 4, On Mars. And 3, Marvel Dice Throne. And now we're on our number 2.
My number 2.
The Senor Azul, did you play any games?
Nope. I went to Gen Con where it was my birthday.
Gen Con was this month, so no.
What? Oh, it was in August. Oh, no mistake. I went to Dice Tower too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like Dice Tower or Gen Con more?
Gen Con because Souvenir Razor actually came to see me.
Wow. You have one fan?
No, I got a lot of fans. Did you see the picture with me and Bree?
Oh yeah.
It was so good.
Bree loves you.
Bree loves me. Yep.
It's true.
Is number 2 a solid one? It's been solid. It's a solid number 2.
Marrakech. Exactly, Shano. And my game schools. We are playing through the short games on BGA while we're still in the seas.
Very cool.
Oh, cool.
Let's hope it's solid.
Oh my goodness. I love BGA games. Always fun.
Yeah. Poop jokes are not my favorite, but they're a solid number 2. My number 2 is...
Your number 2 is...
Akropolis.
Nice.
I don't really consider Akropolis an abstract. I mean, it's...
Did you play this in April?
Akropolis? No. The one with the building up of the tiles?
Yeah.
Played it at Dice Tower. Akropolis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not play this in April.
We played it at the gathering.
I don't think I played it at the gathering.
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
This is the one where your hexagon tiles where you're building up your city.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
So, no, public poker.
Oh.
So, I like this. It has a lot of set collection, a lot of tile placement. When you place on the base level, you are going to get 1 times the points of whatever you've got built there. But if you put something on top of, you are actually closing off things underneath, and you might get some stone that can help you draft different tiles later, because you sort of draft it small world style where you have to give up the stone in order to get tiles from the display. I love anything with tile drafting and tile placement, but you're not going to get any points for any of the things unless you A, place them the right way, and B, have plazas of the matching color. And so we do have a gameplay that we have recorded on here. So definitely be sure to check out our playthrough.
Love Akropolis.
Love Akropolis.
It's like...
And that's why it's not on your list,
That's
because you
game.
played it earlier, and I don't think I played it.
Okay.
I will go back and look, but I don't think I played it. Otherwise,
It doesn't matter because I'm
everything shifts up 1 position.
I'm happy it's on your list.
I am going to take a look. I do not... if I played it, it will be in here.
It'll be an asterisk list.
Oh,
but
that would not be good.
I think he might have added My Shelfie or Suspects instead.
Probably My Shelfie. AKR. Akropolis. First play.
Yeah.
April 15th.
That?
I have an asterisk list.
It's all
So yeah, that moves everything up a position, and I will probably put My Shelfie as number 10.
Yes, okay.
You must not.
Look, Colorfly, quick to give you
This game is an asterisk. Not Akropolis. However, it's a good game.
But as we said, when we do our lists, usually we talk about it immediately after. But it's been 17.
It's been 17 days.
It's been 17 days since August started.
Yes.
And we'll just blame Michael's memory. I'm like, did I play that?
I was like, no, I don't think so. I guess I did.
But it is still a great game, and I'm still happy
Still a
it's on
good game.
anyway.
So, not Akropolis. Take that away.
Oh, no, it is.
Take that away. It's not my number. It's not my best played of new games. That's not a new game.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to renumber. All right, you're number 2.
My number 2 is.
Whoa.
You can't play that one.
Nope. I can't turn over the timers. Michael is old, yes. The real question is, was it on your April list? Probably. Probably was on my April list. I'm going to have to look.
It might not have been, though. It was on mine, for sure.
Well, that was Gathering Month. That's a lot of good games.
A lot of good games.
Played a lot of good games.
It might not have been on that.
I don't know.
But it is a good game. My number 2 is Kites. It is a real-time timer flipping game where you're playing cards, and if I play a red card, I flip over the red timer. And so we're all doing it in real time. I play a card, then Michael plays a card, then Senor Azul plays a card, then I play a card, then Michael plays a card, then Senor Azul plays a card.
And someone has to flip the timers for me because I don't have any fingers.
You can't hold your cards. You can't do anything.
No.
But I it's super quick. We played it at Dice Tower Con really, really late with 5 people, and we did really well. We won. I'm like, that's so easy.
Easy.
Jen, we go to play it with 5 people.
With the losers.
We're losers.
We were losers with the losers.
We so lost so hard. 2 games in a row.
Yes. Rainer, Dave and Ilka, me and Steph. And we were terrible.
I guess we just had the dream team at Dice Tower.
I guess so.
What can we say? It's all the foob.
It's all the foob all the time. The dream team.
The dream team. Oh, it could have been Stefan.
Oh yeah, we did rank 15 games in April. We did have a top 15.
Except when it comes to decorum.
Somebody can go back and look at my video.
Yes.
My number 1 game.
Oh, wait. I'm not even there yet. What is it? Oh, I know it.
That one.
I know it. Let me
know that one.
Picture. I'm not there yet.
And you've already played it, so it won't be your number 1.
Definitely not on my list.
Because it was new to me.
Yes.
And it was definitely new to me and not an April game. It is a game we played with Stefan.
Yeah.
7 Wonders Architects.
Nice.
So this is a simplified version of 7 Wonders. Didn't someone say that that he created it so he could play it with his kid?
Yeah, this was designed to be like a Ticket to Ride Junior type of versus.
There's not really junior.
7 Wonders. It's supposed to be like for that age bracket.
Right. So whenever you're playing this, you can take the tile to my left, the tile to my right, which are between sets of players, or the tile in the middle. And so you still have quite a bit of player agency.
Yeah.
And so you're drafting these tiles to make your science sets or your other buildings and everything. And then you're trying to make your wonder before everybody else. And it takes certain things in order to build your wonder. There's just a lot of good to like about 7 Wonders Architects.
Yeah.
So
it's super light.
It's super light. It's super fast.
It's so funny because at the Dice Tower, I saw 2 guys like with a players wanted sign. I'm like, they have the only copy, I'm sure of it. And I just invited them to our 5-player game. So we had a full 7-player game of it. And then like everybody was learning except for like me and Steph. And then so it's like.
Dr. Stein says, I don't recommend playing it with 6 other extremely slow people, but otherwise it's fun. Yeah, because it moves fairly quickly because there's only the 3 tile choices there.
Yeah.
You could take 2 hours and play 100 games of it on BGA, which is amazing.
You can play.
Chad is right.
On BGA, yes.
Yeah, it was great at 7.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it works just well enough as 7 Wonders does. Again, it's probably faster than 7 Wonders, but.
Yes.
7 Wonders moves really fast if everybody knows what they're doing.
Right.
It really does because everybody's just doing it at the same time versus Architects where you are individually taking turns.
So, that is true.
Yeah.
So certainly worth checking out. My number 1 of the month, 7 Wonders Architects. Your number 1.
My number 1.
Whoa.
Well, is Viticulture Worlds.
Woo!
Really love it. I like the cooperative aspect of it. I like the little summer and winter hats. Little hats that the workers wear. I like that you have 4 workers that you can use from the beginning of the game because you're going to need them. You need all of the help you can get to get it going because you only have 6 rounds to do everything with everybody working together. You can focus on different things, but you're still trying to complete the goals and get, acquire 25 points individually, as well as have a common goal to score like 10 or 10 flower point, whatever, for influence points, I think it is. So I like all the different scenarios, like we talked about. It's a really great game.
With the summer and winter hats, we got rid of all the hats, basically getting rid of their limitations on the first adventure. On the second adventure, you and I sort of specialized. I created created and bottled the wines, and you did everything else that needed to be done. And so we sort of specialized that way. Since it was co-op, it worked out really well. So, and we did not focus as much on our summer and winter hats.
No.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. And we barely won. I even had to go.
A good game is balanced enough.
Just to make sure that we didn't cheat.
Right. And we didn't cheat.
And we didn't. So, because I had asked for points, Michael did not give me points, but I gave me points. So
we weren't sure if we double gave the points.
Right. That would have been 2 extra points, and we would not have won. But I
would have been cheating.
I did go back and check, and he did not give me points.
No asterisk game.
It wasn't.
It was not an asterisk.
Not. It was legit. It was legit win.
Viticulture World party time. Excellent.
Nobody but us chickens got like bottom of the barrel. Did not like that game.
Yeah, nobody but us chickens did not rank my number. Actually, my number 1 ranking was the Foob and Colorfly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Foob and Colorfly, meaning the Foob and Colorfly in July
is my number 1.
Was the number 1 above all else.
That's right. They're the super number 1.
They're the bestest.
That's right. So my number 10, Shelfie Stacker. No, my Shelfie. Number 9, Marvel Dice Throne. Number 8, Gizmos. Number 7, Marrakech. Number 6, Riverboat. Number 5, The Shining. Number 4, Railroad Revolution. Number 3, Viticulture World. Number 2, Pandemic Fall of Rome. And number 1, 7 Wonders Architects.
Yeah. My number 10, Smash Up Disney. Number 9, Reign of Dragoness. Number 8, My Shelfie. Number 7, In the Palm of Your Hand. Number 6, Suspects. Number 5, Pandemic Fall of Rome. Number 4, On Mars. Number 3, Marvel Dice Throne. Number 2, Fates. And number 1, Viticulture World, which is kind of an expansion, but it changes up the game.
It's not really. It's its own game.
It's its own game. That's the only reason why I consider it to be on the list. Otherwise,
that list was retcon.
it was definitely no peeking until. We also, at the beginning of this stream, mentioned expansions. You had 7 Wonders Armada on your list, which is amazing. I love it.
And we both had
Red Cathedral, Contractors.
Retcon that too.
And Sagrada Glory.
Sagrada Glory.
All those expansions were fantastic. So it's worth mentioning them because we don't always play amazing expansions, but when we do, I just want to make sure to give a proper shout out when I really enjoy it. Because I'm glad you remembered Armada, because I would not.
That was a long time ago.
I first played it many, many years ago. No, whenever it came out. It was probably like 3-4 years ago. I don't even.
Well, that was actually the first time I was part of the Seven Wonders Grand World International Grand World Championships.
Did you have right?
I did, and lost. Actually, I came in 3rd, which is not bad considering all of the world champions that were sitting at the table. I beat everybody but the 2 world champions.
Intergalactic. Yeah.
Intergalactic World Championships.
That's right.
Yes.
I always have fun playing the 7 Wonders Championship. It's always fun. So yeah, that was our July. We had a great July month.
And it's almost done with August.
We're almost done with August, so expect to see that in the coming weeks because there's plenty of games that we've learned this month already that have been excellent.
Excellent.
Party on. And then there's a bunch more coming that I can see right over here. So it's gonna be
a lot of good games.
It's gonna be a cool month.
We've already played a lot of fast ones, so yeah, it's gonna be a good month.
I would love to play Toledo like fully because I know that will make the list. But if we play it in September, that will also make the list in September. So it's whenever we play it
because it might make your top 10 of the year.
I'd be surprised if it didn't.
But that's spoilers, so we'll bring that to you.
I played the demo, and then I demoed like 20 games of it at Gen Con. So I'm anticipating to let them a lot coming up.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed the list today. And we'll be showing off a bunch of these games that we've mentioned that we haven't shown off yet.
I think we should do that right now.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So we will be right back with more games.
Absolutely.